Hang on, did I hit record? I did. We're on a roll too. Oh man.
Let's do it again. Take 3.
You remember that time we went to a... Hey, I'm Tim C.
Hey, I'm Landon Blank.
You're listening to Hacking Concrete. Yeah! Do you remember that time we went on an estimate and we had to like not go in because we were scared that a fight would break out?
Yeah. Yeah. That's this one.
Yeah.
That's this one we're about to talk about.
So we're going to tell you about that.
So is that a food line?
Food line's a grocery store.
Yeah, for those that don't know.
This feels like we're reading a script because we just did this whole thing and I didn't hit record. But Food Line's a grocery store in the southeast.
Yep.
It's a lower tier grocery store.
Yep.
It's not the kind of place that Landon shops. He's more of a Whole Foods kind of person.
No, you're the bougie one.
Yeah.
You're
like,
yeah, right.
I like Harris Teeter.
So, and they have VCT throughout the whole thing?
VCT is, I've already said this, but I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
VCT is vinyl composition tile. That's what that stands for.
Mm-hmm.
And they were deciding whether they're going to tear out the VCT and do stained concrete and metallic epoxy or LVT.
Luxury vinyl tile.
Luxury vinyl tile.
Same crap has been around since.
Yep. Some marketing department somewhere said that we're tired of people calling our stuff cheap old VCT. Let's change the name. And they did it and it worked. Now people are always like, we're trying to decide between what you do and LVT.
And we're going to change the concrete standard. Everything's going to be named luxury.
Yeah. Luxurious metallic epoxy. So we pull up to do the estimate. We're going to go in and meet this guy and we see the trailer outside of another polished concrete company in the parking lot on the day that we're there to do the estimate.
Yep.
And it would just be kind of weird to go in there.
So you called the dude up.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, they're not in here with me. I'm about to kick his ass out or whatever.
Yeah. We were going to go in, but we called and that's what he told us. So,
I mean, who would do... would anybody go in?
I would hope not.
I wouldn't. No way.
We've had it happen twice this year because it happened with that other job downtown. Guy's equipment was in that one.
Yep.
But we go in this one and do the estimate and what did they agreed to let us do a sample.
Yep. So we come back the next day to do the sample, and then the second trick in the book.
Yep.
He had put the equipment in the building.
He unloaded the whole trailer and put it in the building.
And so then we had the same conversation again. I was like, "What are you doing? I mean, his equipment's sitting here. Do you want us to?"
He was irate again. He's like, "No, I didn't tell him to bring the stuff in."
So we did the sample, and then sample gets done next day. You can tell where he stepped in our sample.
Well, we shouldn't blame him.
True. Maybe he didn't at all.
He probably didn't.
He probably didn't. That's dumb.
I'm just kidding. I'll cut that out. That's mean. He probably stepped in the sample. No. But
they liked it.
They liked it. Yeah, we got it. Mm-hmm. And it was a good one. It was. It took a long time.
That was brutal. For
some reason, LVT, it's a lower end. It's thought of as lower end product, but for some reason, LVT installers do not like it if it looks wavy.
Yeah, man.
They want the floor to be flat.
I mean, they put so much leveler on this, anywhere from like an inch to nothing.
Yeah. I can't imagine a scenario where someone says, look at that cheap floor, how wavy it is.
But again, we do that. And then we did the sample and it wasn't too bad.
No.
It's because we were where none were.
Right. We were it just happened to be a spot that was
flat spot on the concrete.
So there's no leveler, yeah. Who did the demo? We didn't tear it out, right?
No, we just ran a small machine on it.
Yeah. So land and ground, I think it was 20,000 square feet.
And the problem is too, because that other guy kind of didn't show up for weeks and weeks and weeks, the project didn't stop. So they proceeded to build about 40 offices.
Yeah, they were like...
I'm sorry, I bet it was 20 offices.
It was at least 20 or 30 offices. They were like 8x8 rooms. It felt kind of like jail.
It was terrible. And then it's like... we had to grind all that off there. And we tried to talk them out of it. Hey, let's don't do these rooms.
Yeah.
Why don't you do some luxurious vinyl tile?
We all that cheap stuff.
So that
L is not fooling them.
That was terrible. That was terrible. But
in the beginning, that whole job, 20,000 feet. He ground 20,000 feet with the smallest machine the HDC makes.
The 420.
Yeah, the 420.
Not the whole job, but tons of offices.
All the offices.
I bet half of it. You're right.
Yeah, about half of it.
Because we couldn't fit anything else in there.
No. Nope.
Anyway, but I don't think at that point discussions were had about metallic, was it? Or had it always been?
It always had been.
I got you.
Yeah, we got it all at one time. But they weren't in a hurry. Where the metallic part was, it was going to be late in the game. They just weren't in a hurry.
Yeah.
So they were in a hurry to get the offices done because they wanted to move in. The front was going to be like the showroom type thing, and it wasn't a big deal.
Yep. We got those done.
Just that easy.
Yeah, right.
A few
I wish you would.
Curveballs were thrown.
Why? Whatever. I just don't understand why we get in these situations.
I know it. I don't even know what happened. I just know it took forever.
Just a faux 20 on a
I guess that's true. The doorways weren't but this wide.
on an inch of overlay.
Yeah, the doorways are this wide, and there's an inch of concrete that had to come up. And
Yeah.
I don't know what we could have done differently because we priced it. We did a demo. You just couldn't tell it was overlay. It was the same color as the concrete.
Right.
So once we got
It was
back there,
tough.
like, oh no. And they framed walls on it and stuff too. So it was, yeah. Anyways,
Hey, you remember we got the whole thing finished, and then we had our last
yeah.
3,000 square feet where we came back the next day, and Troy's like, "Oh, it's sticky." We had to regrind 3,000 more square feet because A and A was mixed.
Yeah, we put 2 parts of A to 1 part of A, and we found out that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So epoxy is always a 2-part mix, A and B, and you put it together. That's what makes it get hard. Little background. So for some reason, we had some 15-gallon kits and 3-gallon kits. So a bunch of 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon cans. And somewhere in the line, somewhere along the way, the guys just got mixed up. They used 1-gallon cans with a 5-gallon, just kind of thinking it was all A and B.
Right.
And it wasn't.
It was not.
No, it wasn't. So after 2 months of grinding and staining and sealing, we thought we were done, and you had to regrind 3 more 1,000 feet.
Yep. And redo it.
Yeah. It was a pretty easy regrind because luckily it was in the bigger rooms, and he was able to use the biggest machine the HTC makes. You know the thing that was so impressive about this job for you, like up to this point, the stain and seal part, was that we hired a new guy and we taught him for like a week or 2. And he just like put his head down and did that whole job.
Yeah, man. And that, because of that, is why, man, we talk about labor, all these labor deals and everything like that. Like, I've always thought, give a dude something pretty hard and see how he stays at it.
Yeah.
And Taylor did. He just hung right in there and just put his head down and just ground those offices.
I don't know how he did it. I mean,
and every day he cleaned up well and put his stuff away. And that's when you're like, well, you know right away if you got somebody good.
yeah, for real. Yep. That was impressive though. He ran the 420 or the faux 20. I don't understand why that's funny.
And then we got and then after that was done, we were ready to move into the whole. I don't even know how much the other stuff was.
The metallic was like 12,000 more feet.
12,000 more feet.
Once we finished the stain and seal, we kind of pulled off of it for a little while because they weren't ready for the front. And then we kind of split up. I can't remember where you went, but I ended up doing an entire basketball arena, like on the next job.
Yeah.
And we were kind of stuck there for a while. Do you remember you were down in Chatham doing a 100,000 foot warehouse? So we both had these massive projects going on. And they called up and they were like, "Hey, we need to do the metallic now."
Yeah. Right now.
So we're already spread thin between two massive jobs, which is kind of not entirely that common to be doing an entire basketball arena. But so then we have to juggle like these 2 jobs with doing all this metallic epoxy, and then on top of that, there's a material shortage, and we were kind of didn't see it coming and didn't have material to do it.
Yep. And so in the big room, remember there was like 3 different colors and that, and which turned out awesome, which is here or wherever here.
Yeah, we made a video. We'll link it at the end. You can see it.
But we made a mistake. There was also 3 storefronts, and I like talking about mistakes.
Yeah.
So we took the 420 and did 3 stores. And they were each 2,000 square feet apiece, weren't they?
They were, yeah, 2,000 feet apiece.
But that was only white metallic epoxy, which is super hard because, am I wrong about this? It shows everything.
It shows everything, and you can see through it.
Yeah. And so, no, we did one of the storefronts with another type of grinder.
Oh yeah,
We did it with a Turco.
Well, we just bought a Prep Master.
I'm sorry.
I just brought the Prep Master Junior, and we just put some people on it that weren't really that experienced at grinding, I guess we.
Oh boy, this isn't gonna look right because there was donuts everywhere.
Yeah, I mean that.
Nothing against that machine. The machine's great. We love it.
It's super aggressive. I mean, it's awesome for some things, but if you don't move it constantly, it cuts these big circles in the floor.
So we look back, and then we had to redo the whole. Would you just put another clear layer of epoxy?
We just dumped clear epoxy in it to level it out.
All right. So where have you learned about white metallic epoxy? We learned one thing that was about we have to do a white base.
We do it so infrequently that I forget things. So I did white metallic epoxy for a college in town, and for some reason I did a brown base, and then we put white on it, and it actually came out really cool. It looked awesome. Yeah. But the only reason we did I remember it now. The only reason we did a brown base was because I was in a time crunch for making them a sample. I was actually out of town when we made samples, this white sample.
You mean the one at the taco trailer?
Yeah, the one at the taco trailer. I was out of town when the college asked for a sample, and I called an employee and said, hey, go buy hardboard, which is this brown board. I said, put the white pigment in it of metallic and just dump it on there. It'll be thick enough to where it won't matter what the primer color is.
Oh, you did it on a brown backboard. So
he did it.
That's hilarious.
I know. I did it on the brown board, and he did it, and he took it to him, and I never saw it.
Yeah.
So when it came time to do the floor, I was thinking that we would probably paint the floor white or something. Yeah. And they showed me the sample. I was like, oh, crap. I can see the brown through it. Yeah. But they liked it. Yep. So we ended up painting the floor brown and doing a white metallic, and it looked really cool. But here's a picture of it. It looked awesome. Kind of looked like milk. Yeah. And so this time around, we hadn't done white since then, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
We've done some light grays, and we just do like a gray primer with light gray, and it looks fine. It looks marbly. But with white, though, you can't. It just doesn't work to have it doesn't work.
And we're saying this so you guys don't get in trouble with that.
So we did a vapor barrier under it, which is like just a primer, and we put white metallic pigment in the vapor barrier, and it just didn't color it solid white.
No, it didn't work.
It actually didn't look like we did anything.
Didn't look like we did anything. Yep. So did you have to? You couldn't find epoxy.
Yeah, I couldn't. Everything was sold out, so we're kind of in trouble. After we did the vapor barrier primer, and it didn't look that good, and we just decided to paint it solid white. Yep. And we just happened to have enough. We barely had enough to do it. Just happened to have it in stock. So once we realized that happened, it was kind of a panicky moment for a minute because they need us to get out of the way. And I was thinking, well, there's no way we have enough white to do 2,000 feet. There's just no way. Actually, 6,000 feet. Mm-hmm. Somehow we had enough in the basement. I don't know how.
Winging again. But as soon as we did that, the owners came in. They own several golf courses too. And they're like, oh, that's what we need to put at the golf course. Then we did a whole pole barn, a huge like wedding venue pole barn.
Like a month later, we're doing another.
And it turned out awesome because we knew what to do. But that white, man, that scares me. Because at that point, remember, we said we'll never do this again. We got to talk people out of white. But it worked out.
Doing a white floor, you could just see everything. You could see like where lint had landed in it. You could see where like bugs had landed in it. You could see where our hair is falling out and landing in it. Yeah. So it's just impossible. And I always see people wearing like full-on bodysuits, but it's not going to help because of the environment. There's like 100 people working there, walking right by the door. We can wear bodysuits all we long to try to keep lint out of it. It's still going to get in there. And that's just the nature of it. There's no way you can do white and tell a customer it's going to be perfect. So you got to have you have to have the right customer for that to work.
All right. So, and then from there, we get all that finished up, and the floor is awesome. The color she picked. I mean, it's cool. Yeah. And so then they had another burger restaurant. So they were insistent, right? They were insistent on us getting in there and grinding before anyone does anything else in the whole space. Yeah. It's like, okay, I mean, are you sure? I mean, we can come in afterwards. He's like, no, trust me. I was like, why? What's wrong?
I hate when people say, trust me.
And he was like, well, you guys had to grind so much that the complete duct system was so filled with dust, which I still don't see how that was all us. But what the funny thing is, he said, as a matter of fact, the filters were so crammed full of dust that they sucked them into the entire system.
It's funny because like there's no way. You should see the vacuum that we use. Like here's a picture of it. You can't do any better than that. And there's just they'll let drywall guys make a dust cloud for the whole place. Yeah, but for some reason when the grinder does it, they're blaming the grinder.
We always get blamed. But he was like, no way. It's like the filters were sucked into the system.
One time at a university, the head of the whole place in the facilities, on the first really big job that I did probably 15 years ago, I subbed out the grinding It was before Landon was grinding. And the guy that was there grinding, he was grinding, and this guy came in, and he just started yelling at him for all the dust that he was making. And I was standing there, and the guy looked at me, and he saw, and I just did like that. And he looked over, and it was a guy on a lift 20 feet up in the air with one of those pole things that spins the sandpaper, and he was just going to town, and it was just a dust cloud coming off of
Oh,
it.
was that dude?
I was just like, do you not see the drywall guy?
I was like, I stepped the same place, not the same place. One time I stepped off the job site, and the guy running it came in, Benny, right? He came in, he started flipping out, dust everywhere, we got lights up there. And evidently he cussed out Rob pretty good.
Yeah.
And he came to me later in the day. He was like, "Hey man, I didn't mean to cuss out your guys." And I went and told Rob that, and he was like, "Landon, let me tell you something. He meant to cuss me." So dust, man.
Yeah, I just pointed though, and I was like, and he realized immediately, and he turned around and went and yelled at that guy. I don't know why we get blamed though.
That's right. Anyway. So that was 3 storefronts.
The hamburger place. Well,
hamburger place.
They made you grind it first.
Yeah. And then we came in, I don't know, 2 months later.
Yeah.
And did it. And it worked out good.
Except for that it was dirty.
Oh, yeah, it was dirty.
And we had to grind it again.
Had to do some more grinding. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
People can't fathom that that a concrete floor is going to be the finished floor. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them.
That is the biggest thing. You can put up banners. You can put up anything, and it's just...
Yeah. We were just at a high school the other day doing the bathroom floors, and the painter's outside the door painting, and we grind the bathroom floors. It's a finished school. We're just doing the bathrooms. And we go out and take the grinder out and come back in to start doing the baseboard, and dude painted the room.
Within 20 minutes.
Within 20 minutes, he slopped the paint on the walls of the room, and every time he went to the floor, he let his roller touch the floor. Troy wasn't there, but if he was there,
Commercial
he would have died if he was there. Like, he would have lost his mind. I couldn't believe it though. Like we just ground that.
It's just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a commercial versus residential. There's like 3 types of. There's residential, then there's commercial, and then there's direct for the owner commercial.
Yeah.
That one seems to work.
Give me that one.
Yeah. But the commercial that has a general contractor is always a nightmare.
Yeah. So anyway, we say all this about this job because we did a how-to video, and we kind of went through all this process.
We covered everything. So if you want to see that and you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a link right here. And if you're listening on iTunes or on Spotify, we'll put a link down in the description.
And smash that link. What did they say?
I don't know. Smash it.
Smash that.
2022 style is what Penny McKinnon said. So the music will fade out and we'll start laughing. Pretend to laugh.
I'm not pretending because